With Justin Fields set to hit free agency, the Pittsburgh Steelers look for a new quarterback in free agency. Names like Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold are the latest names that have been linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers in free agency. My name is Peyton Kleppe, and on today's episode of Steelers Digest, we're going to dive into the new possible linked reports of Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Real quick, if you guys are not currently subscribed, click that subscribe button down below. We're on the pursuit of 1,000 subscribers, and we're going to get you guys the latest Steelers news daily regarding free agency, regarding the draft, regarding rumors of trades, head coaching, anything Pittsburgh Steelers. If it is worth talking about, we're going to make a video daily. Let's get right into the news. We got a huge report that is vital to our quarterback situation as we head into next year. Let's get right into this news. So the latest rumors that have surrounded a new quarterback in Pittsburgh are reports that are linking the Steelers to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has been a project quarterback for primarily the New York Giants and now the Minnesota Vikings. As he started his career in New York, he had a lot of ups and downs in New York. And just recently, last season, they cut ties with him mid-season, and he signed to the Minnesota Vikings practice squad. Sam Darnold, some quotes that have been released about him. Albert Breer made this comment: if Pittsburgh hangs on the field, it's hard to figure out where Russell Wilson goes. But, the Steelers could find themselves kicking the tires and, linking up with Daniel Jones, which, this has been a situation that has been tough for all Steelers fans. A lot of us really want to sign Fields, but if we have Daniel Jones under center next year, I think the Steelers are just giving up on trying to get that 7th Lombardi and trying to get that winning season and just trying to kick Tomlin out of town, because it's a real joke if we think that Daniel Jones is going to be a starting quarterback for us and just get winning football. This guy was horrendous in New York. He had one good season where his statistics were not even that good. He did go to the playoffs, but Daboll was on his Coach of the Year run, and they had a pretty stacked roster on the Giants that year. They had a lot of guys that outperformed their contracts and really stepped up. They even had Saquon Barkley on that team back then. So, Daniel Jones is not the quarterback I want. Sam Darnold is another name that has been linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers in free agency. He is another Minnesota Vikings quarterback that was really starting for them last year, and he had a great season. Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold are similar players where they started their quarterback careers in New York, and they really did not have a lot of success. But, Sam Darnold, he was the starter last year for Minnesota, and he really showed up and showed out. He had his best season with 35 passing touchdowns, and I believe he had around 12 interceptions. So, if his name was not Sam Darnold, it was anybody else's name, they're going to look at that guy and regard him as a franchise quarterback. Those stats are not a mishap. Those stats are not a joke. 35 passing touchdowns is very impressive. I think that was the most amount of passing touchdowns Big Ben ever had in a season in his career. 35, that might have been even more. That's a lot of touchdowns. Granted, he did have two great starting wide receivers playing for him for the Minnesota Vikings in, the best receiver in the league in Justin Jefferson, and one of the best wide receiver number twos in Jordan Addison. That guy's really emerged as a star in Minnesota. So his stats some may say they are a little skewed. Minnesota was a great team on offense and defense last year, so he was getting carried, but he will hit the free agent market. Minnesota has stated they will move on from him and move with J.J. McCarthy. So Steelers could look to sign this guy. I don't know if they will, because he's going to be asking for a pretty high price tag, and Steelers probably will not match that. Another team that has been linked to Sam Darnold is the Seattle Seahawks. They have traded their starting quarterback, Geno Smith, to the Raiders for a third-round pick, and that trade really started all this domino effect, which has led, Justin Fields to hit the free agent market. He probably saw that that acquisition and said, "Hey, I can definitely get a lot more money on the free agent market. Let me test the waters. Let me look what it's like in New York. Let me check out the Indianapolis Colts and some of these other teams that will be interested in him in free agency." So that really leaves the Steelers with not a lot of options, and the most likely option is, like I said, the latest report, which is linking us to Daniel Jones. So, with free agency expected to start in the next few days, I could see the Steelers at least bringing this guy in on a visit. Some upsides that he does have: he is a big quarterback. He is around 6'4", 6'5". He has a lot of athletic ability. A play that stands out for a lot of us, if you guys did not see this play, when he was the starter for the New York Giants, there was a game against, I believe it was one of the divisional games, might have been the Eagles, but it was a Monday night or a Thursday night primetime game, and Daniel Jones had a 70-yard rush where he broke out of the pocket, and he was running down that field. But in Daniel Jones and Giants fashion, he did trip at the end. But that is just a play that really summarizes Daniel Jones' career. He's had a lot of potential, a lot of athletic ability, but he always seems to come up short. Another issue that this guy has is he fumbles the football and turns the football over a lot. So, this guy will not be an upgrade over Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. It's going to be abysmal for the Steelers offense is if he remains a starter for the rest of the year next year. If he becomes a starter, it's going to be an abysmal time for us Steelers fans, and we are going to not be happy. I guarantee you that. Giants fans have definitely let everybody know that Daniel Jones is not that guy. He will not ever be that guy. So, but who knows? There has been a lot of instances where quarterbacks has come to a new team and changed their whole career around, really flipped that switch. So, like Sam Darnold did in Minnesota, Daniel Jones could do the same in Pittsburgh. If he comes over and he plays lights out, he really thrives in that Arthur Smith offense with guys like Jaylen Warren, with guys like George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth. Who knows? We could get a QB for the future. Daniel Jones could flip his entire quarterback career around and play some lights out football. But realistically, I don't see that happening. I do realistically see us bringing this guy in to be at least a bridge quarterback, but it also points signs that we will draft the guy in this upcoming draft. The Steelers have seemed like they've probably found their guy in the draft. They definitely had a lot of meetings with a lot of different college quarterbacks. They had meetings with Jalen Milroe. They had meetings with, they had meetings with Quentin Ewers. They had meetings with guys like Jackson Dart. So, I do assume that the Steelers have found their guy in the draft and they're looking to pick somebody in the draft because, letting Justin Fields walk in free agency is a huge decision that Steelers could really regret going into next year. If he does sign a multi-year deal with another team and has a lot of success, we will be kicking ourselves a few years from now. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much. If you guys have not subscribed already, click that subscribe button down below. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers, so if you click that subscribe button, it's really going to help us out. Thank you so much. Peace out. Go Steelers.